Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcapper, and this is another video on Watcher of Realms. Today we're on the test server, you can see, because there's big bold letters saying test server. And the reason we're there is there's 3 brand spanking new champions on the test server. And I'm going to do a blind first look. All I know is their names. Their names are Ingrid, Glacius, and ELIZA. I found them. I hearted them, and then I didn't look at their kit or anything because I want to have a blind look at these. There's 2 legendaries, 1 epic. One of them is a lord, and let's just start with the first one, the lord. She looks phenomenal. This is Ingrid. She is a Watcher Lord, second Watcher Lord, and she's also a member of the Supreme Arbiters. Is that Is that the first multi-faction who's a Lord of one? I don't know, but first impression, she looks pretty badass. She looks like she's pretty high on herself. She's probably a little high maintenance. But let's take a look at her intro video. Ooh. She comes up. By the way, I don't have audio on here because for some reason, stuff from this video gets copy claimed from this game. So, oh my dear lord. Oh, don't close your. Yep. Wow. She's from space. They don't wear clothing in space. I don't know if you knew that, but she did put clothing on for Earth or wherever we are for our little Watcher realm, our realm. I don't know what this music is, by the way. Sorry, I just have it at random. So there we go. That is the first look of her. Looks pretty funky, I'm not gonna lie. I did notice one thing. Let's see. We'll talk about her talents. I did notice something with her. Does it not usually have it in these? This is the easy way. No. All right. Let's take a look at her through here. The attack range is straight line. It is 5 tiles, which is crazy. What I do see is there's a mode switch, which is interesting. There's burning and there's true damage. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. Looks like she believes she's a queen. She rules eternally as the immortal sun. So that's a big deal. She's a big deal. Let's take a look. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so let's take a look at her skills here. First, she has a talent. When deployed, enters solar mode. Solar mode is the mode infused with the might of the sun. Why did I bother? Excelling in dealing with large number of enemies. Solar mode launches 4 basic attacks. Attack turns the next basic attack into solar flare, which deals 270 AoE damage up to 15 enemies in a wide front area. Stellar mode, infused with the might of the stars, excelling in dealing single target damage, launches 4 basic attacks. 4 basic attack turns the next basic attack into Star Shower, deals 50% damage to 1 enemy in range 9 times. So she's got 2 different forms. She's got solar mode, which is an AoE, so it seems like it's a multi-hit followed by AoE, or a single target based on single burst, which is interesting. I suspect there'll be a way to kind of switch back and forth, so we'll read her kit and we'll see. First off, she does have Radiant Glory 3, which is Lord skill. Of course, it increases faction team members by 15%. This is the Watcher faction. Periodically increases the faction team members' damage and healing bonus by 15% for 20 seconds. I feel like the epic ones are only healing. Maybe I'm wrong. The more allies, the more frequently it takes effect. After the Lord deals direct damage to an enemy, faction team members deal 20% extra damage to that enemy within 3 seconds. So what I see right now is she's actually sounds like she's pretty hype for Samara. I just see that because look, Watcher have some good opportunities to deal damage against the Guild Boss 2, and now she's got this burst mode against Guild Boss 2, or any other single target boss. And on top of that, it's going to help all the rest of the faction deal extra damage within 3 seconds. So basically their next hit is going to do extra damage. If you time it right with ultimates and that sort of thing, you know, that can be some pretty significant damage boost. So I like that. So her ultimate switches. So it's her ultimate that decides. See, looking at the little thing here, she's shooting forward, single damage versus that star damage. So you've got the solar mode switches to stellar, stellar switches to solar. This is interesting. So it does have a skill cost. You can reduce that skill cost. But it's only a 1 second. It seems like it's just a whichever you want to use, which is really cool. I like that idea. So she's going to have 2 modes. You can switch it using her ultimate. So she doesn't actually have an ultimate other than she can switch from the solar to stellar. And when you switch, when you enter, she's deployed, she's in solar mode. She launches 4 basic attacks, turns the next attack into a solar flare. As soon as you switch it over to stellar mode, she launches 4 basic attacks, turns the next attack into star shower. So that's kind of cool. I get that. I'm following now. We're a little bit so Empyrean Tempest is a passive. Triggering solar flare grants 1 solar energy point, and triggering star shower grants 1 stellar. Up to 5 energy points can be accumulated. Each solar or stellar energy point increases damage by 3%. Reaching 5 triggers solar overload, which reduces attack interval by 15%, during which the ultimate cannot be used. Solar energy will be cleared when the effect duration ends. And reaching 5 stellar energy gets stellar overload, which I'm guessing, so increases attack by 20%, during which the ultimate cannot be used. Stellar energy will be cleared with the effect of the duration ends. So, look, basically, she's every time she hits a solar flare, she gets a point. Every time when she hits 5 points in either flare or shower, she's gonna overload, and you're not gonna be able to switch her effectively to the other type. This is a very potentially versatile champion. I'm not so sure about that straight line, but almost everything else with this, I'm kind of intrigued with. She's got nice long range. She is a magic dealer, so she's a platform hero. But you put her on a platform, she can be pretty far away. She can do straight line damage, but she's also going to be able to do AoE damage in a. It sounds like when she hits those star showers, or sorry, the solar flares, it's going to be 15 in a wide front area. So it looks like though the target is going to have to be straight line, you're going to have kind of an AoE effect on that 5th hit, and then when you hit 5 of those, so 25 hits total, she's going to do this overload, which is going to reduce the interval by 15 for 20 seconds. And then if you're conversely in Star Shower, which is boosted damage to a single target 9 times, so every 5th time it's going to be a 9 burst. And then after 25, she's going to go into Stellar Overload, which increases her attack by 20% for 20 seconds. So that's interesting. And then damage increase from each energy point plus 1. I like that. Interval reduction 10%. Attack increase 10%. So overall, yeah, I really like it. So she can attack even faster in the AoE, or do even more single target damage and get that extra attack increase. That's interesting. Celestial Wrath. Solar Flare deals an extra true damage 1 time equal to 100% of the hero's attack to enemies hit. Each damage dealt by Star Shower has a 15% chance of inflicting burning and a 15% chance of inflicting radiant erosion, which is continuous true damage based on the defense of the inflicted target every 2 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. That sounds like an amazing boss damage dealer. Again, the continuous damage depending on the boss that you're doing. This seems to be another opportunity where Solar Flare against certain, content, and Radiant Erosion against other. What I really like about this is the versatility of, you think of some of those rift moments, and I'm just off the cuff. I'm not saying this is where she's going to be used, but you think you have to do that, you have to do magic damage to, for example, the guards, but then you've got those little stupid healers and you got multiple of them, so maybe you want to switch over to Star Shower, burst them away, switch back to single target, and then if it's a boss mode, you can just absolutely dominate the boss here, and you have Praetus as your lead to give you even more damage, or you have her as her Lord skill if you have a Watcher group. Pretty crazy. And then finally, of course, she's an Arbiter, so she increases damage in Arena by 15% as her passive. Okay, well, pretty strong start. Does she have an exclusive artifact yet? I do not know. Does not look that way. At least I have not been given one, so okay. So there she is. What do you think? Let me know. But let's move on to the second one, which is it looks like Vortex's older brother. Very, very cool. He does not want to be outdone. He's an ice cyclone, maybe. I don't know what we want to put him. I give this Glacius some sort of lore. Does not have an intro because doesn't have boobs. So if you're wondering, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on now. No boobs, no intro. But what does he have? He has a Frozen Shield passive. Interesting. So why don't we just actually go to the gear? Talent. Basic attack inflicts slow upon hit with a 20% chance to additionally inflict freeze. Okay, so it's a single target. Yep. So single target. Basic magic user range. Has the slow, which is nice. It's a slow. It's not a chance to slow, but it has a 20% chance for freeze. On the talent, manual, when activated, increases attack range and turns basic. Oh, so just basically fills in those two side corners, and turns basic attack into 3 consecutive strikes, with each strike dealing 90% damage to random enemies in range. For every 1% of max HP shield strength owned, increases damage by 1% up to 100%. So, has some synergy. Man, they love those shield synergies. There's a lot of champions with those shield synergies. It's sure making the Northerner. I'm pretty sure he's a Northerner. I forgot to mention that. Yes, he's a Northerner. It's sure making them synergize with each other very well. King Hearts and even Isolde, absolutely banger together. Even the Epic Lord, Rourke, I think, potentially, because he does put out shields, that sort of thing. So, deals 100% damage to one enemy. We already talked about that. Has a couple passives. Gains a shield equals 20% of max HP every 30 seconds. So, he's giving himself shield, lasting 10 seconds. Each time damage is taken, reduces the cooldown by 1, up to 12 seconds. When the ultimate is activated, this effect triggers immediately and increases the shield strength obtained to 40%. And then it can go even higher, and the cooldown's even lower. So, interesting. And then the other passive, Heart of Ice. The hero possesses a freeze immunity. So, he's immune to freeze. That's interesting. Very specific content. That'd be very strong. The Celestial. Geez, that Celestial Dragon that freezes people. That would be nice. Extra damage to enemies inflicted with freeze. If the target is immune to freeze triggered by a talent, the hero inflicts Eye of Winter on them, which Glacius regards this target as inflicted with freeze. So in other words, Eye of Winter, even if they're not frozen, he thinks of them as frozen and does extra damage. So pretty simple champion, a lot simpler. More damage, more magic, more podium. I think I like her more than him so far, but still pretty interesting. Anytime you get CC, it's never going to be a bad thing. You think of again, I'm thinking of Void Rift. Anytime you're running with, you're running through those stupid, I don't know, what are they called? Those big, slow moving, hard to kill guys. Anytime you can slow them down and inflict extra damage while doing so, I think he'll be very good there. Is he going to be better than the kind of? Is he going to be better than Boreas? Is it going to be better than Comet? I don't know. Maybe that's something we can try out one day. This is just a first look. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, looks pretty kind of cool, dude. We'll see how he runs in actual fights down the road. But this is the one I like to see. We have a Piercer Epic Lord. on the table, which is the second one, which is nice. Also, it's a piercer, which is nice because if we take a look at the current Epic Lord, which a lot of people have, but she's not usable. She's not really usable. Where the heck? If only there was a way to filter these so that I didn't look like an idiot running through. Oh, I should do that. That's what I do. Boom, 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 boom. There you are. So Lunaria, magic type, which is nice in very certain. But usually, if you're using a Piercer Lord and Piercer team, you want Piercers. Just a thought. So this is interesting. We actually get a Piercer. The Lord skill increases 10, and then of course the range is increased. That's the big deal. The reason why you need her. So right away, she's amazing, and I'll tell you that because you have another Epic Lord that's going to help you through Gear Raid 3. Because Gear Raid 3, if you have the Lord and you get that extra range, and you have, doesn't even matter what piercers, to be perfectly honest. Obviously, if you have silence, it's amazing. But helps Alora, helps Nyx, helps Razak, helps Idril. Like it's having that extra range. I mean, we're not idiots, of course. It makes life easier for everything. So when deployed, gains invisibility or talent redeployment time minus 10 seconds. Well, that's kind of neat. When deployed, gains invisibility and increases damage by 70%. This can only be triggered one time each deployment. So that's a passive ultimate for 30. So she's got 30 seconds. So, hey, look, I actually see this. She's really just Gear Raid 3, right? You drop her on the right side. She's got 30. She's got 40 second if you put books into her. 40-second invisibility. You kill that first round of the, I think there's 2 of them that come out the right side. You pick her up. She's got a 10-second decreased deployment time. You probably have Volca, which is, of course, also reduced deployment. You wait until you need her again at invisible, and you drop her again for the second group. I think that, like, I'm just going through my head. Maybe we'll have to test that. Maybe that'll be our next video is can we use her on that right side on 21. I don't even think I have 21 completed on the test server, so that might be interesting. So let's keep going though. So she's got a passive ultimate where she's invisible when fully booked for 40 seconds and increases damage substantially. She deals 100% damage to one enemy, prioritizing airborne. That makes sense. And then she has a passive killing enemies, turns basic attack into 2 consecutive strikes for 7 seconds, and you can increase that considerably. So actually, she looks like she's a drop burst pickup. And her whole kit says that, right? You drop her where you need her. She's invisible. She bursts something out down. She bursts for 40 seconds. You lift her. Or I guess you let her die, but probably you lift her. And then she's got that reduced deployment time so you can get her back in the fight when you need her again for the exact same thing. The other things I should take a look at here is things like that's not what I wanted. I always get this wrong. How show her at max. Is it only in the it's probably only in the thing. Okay, let's just do this. I just want to see what her base attack is. That's a big deal at 60, and I don't feel like going over to the I don't feel like going all the way to the gallery. Oh my god, that might be the laziest thing I've done this week. And I've been sick. So I gotta be honest, I think I'm most hyped about this champion because this is something we need. 1978 attack is terrible. That's not a good starting attack. But she does get the damage boost. Let me just take a look here for comparison. So she's 1978. Idril. Yeah, wow. Am I missing something? Oh, because, yeah, I'm an idiot. That's what I'm missing. You guys didn't miss it, just me. Let's promote her so that she can actually have her cap skills. So Idril is 3,300. She needs to be about that to be able to hang, or else it's just too hard to get her damage. Because then you need to make sure you boost her with inspiration. Oh, deployment time minus 20 seconds. Let's talk about this again because I am actually really hyped about this champion. Might do a kit review on this soon. So let's take a look now. So now we got 3,000. It's a little less. So you saw the Idril was 33 or 31. Sorry, 31.99. Esma 29. The rest of them aren't leveled up yet. So okay, so 3028 is usable. 8,600 HP again. I think that's pretty standard. So her attack's a little lower, 150. That can be a bit rough. But I did notice that her redeployment time is actually minus 20. So that makes her even more usable for that. I really think we're going to do a video on this because I feel like she's going to absolutely excel in that Gear Raid 3 to get you through content if you don't have, you know, Alora, if you don't have Idril cracked to the point where she can just clear the right side. You know, sometimes we have to use Cetrum pointing that way just to make sure that last one dies. I think she's going to be very helpful there. Let's take a look at her Awakenings. Killing enemies now turns basic attack into 3 consecutive strikes. 200 attack. Increased damage upon airborne units by 10% upon each deployment, stacking up to 3 times. So she gets, when you actually redeploy her, she actually gets more damage. I like that. Speed plus 25. Killing enemies during the ultimate extends the ultimate duration by 10 seconds. Triggered up to 2 times, so now she can be up to a 60-second invisible when killing. I got to be honest. I think this is probably the best new edition champion in a while. I think this is going to help a lot of people at a lot of levels. Having another Lord is great. Having another Piercer Lord is even better. Having an actual Piercer Lord is even better. And having someone who's got a kit that really leans into Gear Raid 3. So those are the 3 champions. What do you think? I obviously have a favorite. I think Ingrid is going to be a fun champion. We'll see where she truly excels. I feel like it's Guild Boss 2, but because of the versatility of her kit, maybe it's a lot of areas. Maybe it's a lot. And then we've got Glacius. I think Glacius, if he's gonna excel paired with both shield champions that produce shields for him, as well as just anytime you need slows and freezes, because that's going to absolutely help in a lot of those areas. I think Void Rift comes to mind immediately. Probably not the only place, but it's definitely a place where he's going to be useful. And ELIZA she's Gear Raid 3. She's probably other areas too. I can think Faction Wars. I think she's going to be very strong in not the Piercer, maybe the Piercer Faction Wars, because the invisibility, she'll be able to burst on that lower side without being frozen when the boss comes in, or something like that. But definitely Gear Raid 3. My initial gut reaction is that she's going to be really good there, so we'll have to test that out. But that's all for this video. What do you think of them? Which one do you like the best? Let me know in the comments down below. But as always, I'm done my rambling. I'd love to blame this on the cold, but the reality is I ramble when I'm completely healthy. So let's just end it with be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.